As with most decisions, no one was 100% happy. We communicated consistently and continuously through emails, social media, and on the city website, sharing information as soon as the plans were finalized. Council members and staff also received updates personally from me throughout the storm. We also made difficult operations decisions, such as pausing trash collection, so that we were able to redeploy our drivers to plowing to maximize our ability to reach neighborhoods even quicker. I want to address directly the claims of disparate treatment. The data and real-time photos do not support those assertions and contradict the narrative. We were intentional in avoiding promises that could not be met, a mistake made by other jurisdictions that publicly listed targeted extraction areas and then fell short. Even with the strong performance, we know we can improve. Our after-action review is already identifying those opportunities, some of which include exploring the treatment of salt to make it more effective in extreme colds, partnering with garages and private lots to temporarily relocate cars from narrower streets so that we can access them quicker with our standard equipment, and expanding our communications tools and providing clearer explanations as to the why behind decisions. We deployed these mechanisms in the most recent blizzard, and I think we can all say that it was successful. But most importantly, we should celebrate. Unlike other jurisdictions, Wilmington has experienced 0 storm-related fatalities. This is a testament to the planning, coordination, and dedication of our teams. We executed our plan well overall, and we are committed to doing even better in the future. Thank you for your time, and I'll open it up to questions.
Well, I would, I would like to say that was a speech from Washington, D.C. I can tell you travel a lot. Do we have any questions from, we have Councilmember Nathan Field on the line. Vice Chair Nathan Field.
Yes. Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Walker. I want to say I think the city did a pretty good job with the storm. It was a big storm, and it was tricky, a lot of difficult dynamics, and just a couple facts things that I heard and that might be interesting. I received a few complaints from residents, but not more than 5 or 6. And in every single time, I basically pointed out a couple things. It was a rare storm. We haven't had a storm like this in a while. Number 2, the snow wasn't melting. So there's not a whole lot that can be done. We're not Wisconsin or Minnesota that deals with this all the time. And 3, and I said this every time in conversations, give Public Works the benefit of the doubt. And if we get a storm like this again in a month, I think everybody in this room would say there will be lessons learned and Public Works will improve. So all in all, I thought it was pretty decent given the circumstances. And Mr. Walker already mentioned Public Works did an after-action report and is figuring out what can be done. I have a question for the Public Works team and curious to know the answer. Why can't snow in future storms be pushed more aggressively out of the way into certain parks, for example? 30 or 40, 50 years ago, it was very common to push snow into parks like Stapler or Rockford. Take a excavator and just move the snow, open areas where nobody needs to be, and maybe that in the future could help sort of clear the streets more effectively. I'd be curious to know if that's something that could be done more in the future. But all in all, decent job. And like I said, this is Wilmington. It's not Minnesota. It's not Wisconsin. So pretty good job. And if it happens again in the future, I think we'll do even better.
So who's here to answer that question?
I'll let Public Works answer that question, Madam Chair.
So we try to avoid having to move the snow twice. So in past years, we've been out doing it when we've gotten very large snow events with, like, say, 26 inches followed by 22 inches 2 days later. And we did push a lot of snow. I put a lot of snow up on Bancroft Parkway, And and we were out there with heavy equipment with the large loaders and had to get the snow off the road because it was 4 o'clock in the morning. When the spring came around, the sidewalk along Pennsylvania Avenue and Bancroft Parkway looked like somebody drove a tank over it. We ended up having to replace the sidewalk for the entire block because of the damage that the equipment did. That's the reason we don't push onto parks or other areas we're going to damage. When we have to get into extraction, we hauled everything to a site out of the way over by the treatment plant and another site over at our 12th Street yard. Again, we don't want to have to put a machine on it twice. We'll move it one time. We don't want to have to keep moving it because the last time we got a big event like this, the snow didn't melt till June. It was piled so high.
Thank you. Follow up, Nathan. Any other questions?
No, I think it's just hard. It's not a simple thing, and I look forward to the after action report. Is that something that we can read? Is there a written document just for our own interest?
It's not written.
It's not a written document, but we certainly can.
We have a presentation to discuss what, the questions that were asked to us. If you want to let us do the presentation.
Sure. Before we do the presentation, anybody here from Public Works, I'd like for y'all to stand up so we can give you a round of applause because you hear about all the other people, but y'all were out there in the street. Could y'all please stand up? Anybody here from Public Works, stand up. Good job. Much. It takes teamwork, so everybody, congratulations to everybody who works with Public Works and staff and administration. Okay.
Can I ask one more quick question, Chairwoman?
Sure. One more quick question, please.
Yeah. Can I suggest? I mean, in the military, after every operation, there's a debrief and they put lessons learned in writing. Could the lessons learned be put down in writing as an exercise so that just to help intellectually, I think it would be beneficial to future snow removal to sort of systematically put it on paper.
Want to answer that?
We can commit to doing that, Councilman.
Sure. They said they will be commit to doing that. Sounds reasonable to me. We want to go with the presentation before we ask a question. You want to ask a question or presentation? Okay. Let's go with the presentation. Let's start with the presentation. WITN.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair and council members. My name is Kelly Williams. I am the Commissioner of Public Works. A few of these questions were presented to us before the blizzard, but after the ice storm. So we've revised some of the answers to reflect both storms. Question one, what did Public Works spend for the ice storm and the blizzard? Next slide. We spent $132,000 on employee costs, which is 3,133 and a half overtime hours for employees. There were a total of 54 employees that worked. 713 tons of salt were used for a grand total of $54,000 in salt. Diamond Materials is our contractor that comes on into the city to assist us with a Class 2 or a Class 3 storm. Diamond Materials put in 4,823 hours for a grand total of $1.546 million. Next slide. For the next storm, we're calling it the blizzard. So in the blizzard, the emergency costs of overtime were $33,612.39 for about 650 overtime hours. There were only 33 employees that worked. There was about 130 tons of salt used, and the grand total for the salt was roughly $10,000. Diamond Materials came in and helped the operations for 92 hours, and their cost was their total cost was $8,640. Next slide. The next question that was asked is whether we could share a high-level plan for snow removal when there is a city and a state of an emergency. And attached is that plan. Next slide. But for expedience's purposes, I'm going to have Vince do this presentation because we all know he's the fastest talker in the department.
Okay, can you go to the next slide, please? That's our snow personnel. All the weather events are responsible by the Department of Public Works Operations Division. As needed, we will get support from our other divisions, water, transportation, engineering, and admin. And if it is a significant event, we will typically transition into 12-hour shifts from our normal 8 to 8.5 hour rotation. So there's a lot of flexibility that has to be given by our employees. They volunteer to come in and work these overtime shifts. Next slide, please. Okay, department staffs and handles plowing and salting during an event. There's close coordination with Office of Emergency Management, the police and fire departments to ensure continuity of services. And we have ongoing communications, as Mr. Walker alluded to, with the mayor's office during these events. That's typically Kelly and myself and Jason. Next slide, please. We classify events under 3 different categories, class 1, 2, and 3. If you can go to the next slide, we'll break those down for you. Less than 4 inches of on the roadway and a duration of an event that it will be handled in less than 12 hours. And in this event, an event of this size would be normally handled by city crews. That is the definition of a Class 1 event. Next, please. The Class 1 response, we would plow and salt all primary and secondary roadways, feeder roads, and neighborhoods in that order. The objective is to have the operation complete within 48 hours of the end of the event. We're typically using, as the picture shows, large dumps with plows and spreaders, and we also have some of our pickup trucks equipped with plows and spreaders. Next slide, please. Class 2 event would be a storm with accumulations ranging from 4 to 8 inches in a duration is more than 12 hours. This type of storm requires city crews and contractors, including rental equipment. Next slide, please. On this type of a response, again, we would plow and salt all primary and arterial roadways, secondary roads, feeders, neighborhood roads, and the response team would service complaints and requests of an emergency nature. And the objective of a storm of this event is to have everything complete within 96 hours of the end of the storm. Next, please. Class 3 event, this would be a storm with total accumulations of greater than 9 inches in a duration of more than 24 hours. This requires all operations personnel along with support from other public works divisions. As I mentioned earlier, contractors are also involved at this point, including equipment for extraction. Next, please. We would plow and salt all primaries, secondaries, feeder roads, and then put our snow grid extraction plan into operation, and that is what happened with the ice storm. We would create extraction teams utilizing public works crews and other public works inspectors and contractors. Each crew is set out as a team with multiple pieces of equipment, and they work in various grids, and they're moved around as needed to clear the city. Next, please. Here's an example of what the snow extraction sectors look like that's color-coded on the map on your screen. Next, please. City-owned equipment was typically consisting of 26 dumps with plows and spreaders. We have 13 pickups with plows, 10 with V-box spreaders, 3 stake body trucks for snow removal, 2 backhoes, 2 front-end loaders, 3 small bobcats. We have 3 mechanical brining units for pre-storm setup, and then 2 utility trucks with plows. Next, please. There's an example of what a dump truck with a V-box looks like. Next, please. Dump trucks with V-boxes and plows set up in our yard. Next. Brine tanks on the right, and that's pre-event operation for brining. We will typically mix up a brine solution. In this particular storm, it was we hit all the roads 72 hours prior to the event. The brine acts as a de-icing agent. It makes it easier to clear the snow once the snow starts by breaking the bond between the ice and the roadway, utilizing the brine. Next, please. Our operational plan crews are sent out on the primary roads first. There are 9 primary routes with 16 city plow trucks assigned. As the event continues, primary routes are cleared. Supervisors redirect our crews to the various emergency routes, and then after clearing the primaries and emergency routes, trucks will move into the 17 secondary grid routes. Next, please. Here's a list of the primary streets, various areas, including bus and hospital arterials to maintain access to the emergency services. Next. 17 grids for deployments, various areas throughout the city where once the primaries and emergency routes are cleared, we'll start moving the crews into. Next, please. Emergency hospital routes just shows a couple of pictures of routes being cleared around the hospitals. Next. Secondary roads being cleared after the primaries. Next, please. Common issues that we run across is the public with folks and private contractors throwing snow back out into the streets after it's been cleared. Clearing snow emergency routes due to parked vehicles becomes a problem if the streets are too tight and we can't get the larger equipment down it. And the snow that reverts to ice causing additional hazards. That's snow that melts during the day hours and then it'll refreeze. We'll have to go out and continually salt that until it completely dries up as it refreezes during the lower temperatures. Next, please. All right, there's the contact numbers. And next question was a cost breakdown by division. Commissioner Williams will provide that information.
Yeah, so it was asked of us to break down by division the amount of money spent on overtime. So in the ice storm, street cleaning, we spent $22,493. In overtime, in the sanitation division, we spent $37,784,000. In building services, it was a little over $7,000. Street and sewer maintenance, $6,148. Engineering, $8,694. And what we call the war room, which is administrative support, was $5,543. That was the ice storm. Now in the blizzard, street cleaning spent $12,369. Sanitation spent $6,353. Building services spent $3,188, and the war room was $1,599. And those are all the questions that were presented to us.
And Madam Chair, before you go, I just want to make sure the public is aware that their council members were in constant communication with us about trouble areas as we were solving them as they came up. I know I spoke with Councilmember Owens, Councilman Spadola emailed, Councilwoman Willauer, Councilwoman Bracy. I spoke with just about every single council member at some point. I did speak with every single council member at some point throughout the storm, at myself and the mayor, as you all were reporting. So we just want to thank you all for being collaborative partners as we were addressing Winter Storm Fern as well.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. So we did have a couple other questions that were sent over from the public. And one was, who is responsible for the snow?
I'm sorry, say that again.
This is one of the questions. Who was always responsible for cleaning up the snow in the past? What department?
It's Public
Public Works has always been responsible for the right-of-way.
For the rights of way.
Okay.
And the parks does their own,
So who cleans them up now? Same? Okay. So one of the questions, we're looking at street cleaning, 18 employees, 22, what's that, 22,000. Sanitary is 16, trash department is 37. Was there a reason why the trash department received way more overtime than the individuals from the street who normally gets through the snow? This is a question.
Director Leary.
I mean, whoever's here to answer it.
Can answer it.
Sure.
Yes, once we got back on shifts with sanitation being pushed, street cleaning was back to their normal shifts.
Day shifts.
So the day shift working the 8, actually, I believe, Handy, correct if I was wrong, you were working 7 to 7, if I remember correctly. And then sanitation was working the night shift.
7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
So 8 of the hours that street cleaning is scheduled for is actually regular pay.
So, could you repeat that? So you said y'all end up working the day and the night, the sanitation.
That is correct.
There are 22 consecutive 12-hour shifts that the Public Works Department worked during the ice storm. And they switch off sanitation, street cleaning. And so street cleaning just worked their normal day shift plus an additional 4 hours. And then sanitation worked all night from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess my question is, normally, would street cleaning employees normally be doing the overtime?
It's an all operations.
Okay, that was the question. I'm just asking the
Okay,
question.
yeah, and no, neither division gets more or less time. It is 22 consecutive shifts, and 11 were filled by street cleaning and 11 were filled by sanitation. There was some overlap depending on the number of drivers. Sanitation has more CDL drivers than street cleaning does, so sanitation have the bigger trucks.
And also, anytime that there's a weather event in the city, regardless whether it's snow, whether it's a flood, whether it's anything, no individual department works in anything. Operations is street and sewer, sanitation, street cleaning, fleet services, and forestry, and building services. All 6 of those divisions come on and work under operations as one unit. We do not separate. We don't do anything else. Many of our employees work different shifts with different supervisors, with everything else. We do not separate by division. No one division does anything when it comes to weather responses.
Okay. I guess that question came up because it was additional 15,000 that was or more to the trash department opposed to the street. So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. The building service was 7,000. The street and sewer, 6 employees was 6,000. Engineering was 8,000, and war room was 3, which was the 5. Okay, go ahead.
Just one quick question about the difference of the 15,000 there between street cleaning and sanitation. What department on average makes more money?
They make about the same amount of money.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up. Does sanitation make a little bit more? Is that what would lead to additional overtime being paid? That's could lead to.
We don't base that off of seniority, if that's what you're asking. Now, sanitation does have an older workforce, so that means they are higher in the pay scales.
Yeah, that's what I
So,
was
yes.
asking. Yes. When someone's higher in their pay scale, it means they'll
That
get
is correct.
more in overtime as well.
So I think that's the question that we're mentioning. If they're older employees and they're getting, and it looks like they got less paid. So that's what the question that was sent over to about 4 of us. So that's why we're asking these questions. 4 individuals from council received the same question, saying that street cleaning, because I don't know street cleaning from sanitation, have more seasoned employers and they were treated unfairly. This is the question. That's why this is coming up. So this is part of the hearing. And sanitation received most of the overtime, and that's why we just wanted to throw that out there.
If you look at the blizzard numbers, sanitation actually made half of what street cleaning did. So it depends on the storm and the way
Gotcha.
we operate the storm.
A lot of it has to do too with the, during the ice storm, the roads were impassable the next day to bring trash trucks down there, so those guys couldn't go out anyway, so the director made the call to utilize them on the night shift. The other employees, street cleaning, were working their regular 8-hour shifts, as the commissioner mentioned.
So
We couldn't send them out to collect trash because of the chance of them, damaging trucks and vehicles because the streets were still icy because.
I guess that's the question. So you said they wasn't working. So what you tell me, they was in the nighttime picking up trash?
No, they were
plowing.
I can only hear one person at a time. I'm sorry.
plowing at night.
Oh, okay. I just hear trash. I think of people picking up trash. Any other questions from council members? Somebody's hand up, Councilmember Bracy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say to the administration and to the entire Public Works team, thank you. And we appreciate the hard work. I know this was not an easy feat, and it's not normal to have this level of snow for us, at least in the last, several years. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of the teams that were out dealing with the snow, the ice. We appreciate you. At least I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of the work that you guys were doing, because and in extremely cold temperatures, to be out there consistently for over a week is to be commended. So everything's not always going to go according to plan. I mean, this snowstorm was one for the books. So, thank you for all of the hard work you guys have put in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it, Councilman Bracy?
That's it. Thanks.
Sure. Councilman Willauer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I wanted to just follow up on Councilwoman Bracy and thank everybody. The day of the storm, so many people were out, Public Works. I did walk around and saw many of you. Thank you for coming in tonight, and just for your commitment to the city of Wilmington under those. It was a really big storm, and everybody worked really hard. And I saw many of you, in the days that followed, and you stopped and you talked and, took care of things. And I also want to thank the administration because Deputy Walker was in tight communication with council members and, managed to get resources to where they needed to go. And the Department of Public Works, just did respond. So I want to thank everybody for just working as a team on that big storm.
Thank you.
One other question I'd like to ask: who's responsible for cleaning off the sidewalks? Because that's the big question. Is it the state? Is it the city? I get confused.
The short answer is the adjacent property owner, Madam Chair.
Councilman Owens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I would like to say thank you to all the city workers who spent hours out there working. And I know why many of us sit here in debates and emails and phone calls. Y'all are out there actually doing the work. So I do want to say thank you for that. I do have a few questions, and this may be directed towards Deputy Chief Walker. With this snowstorm and with this budget amendment that we had last night, the overall cost here, what I don't see is there any costs associated to damaged equipment on our end? Whether it's from our Public Works Department, Fire Department, I know it was a fire in my district during the snowstorm, but, Police Department, were there any damages or costs occurred on that end?
I think the first question was related to the budget for damage. That's out of a separate line.
Okay.
Rather, that is not associated here we have the risk mismanagement line that handles those sort of incidents, and so someone whose property may have been damaged, they should reach out and we can direct them. In terms of the damages that happened, I believe there were a few. There's always
Like our equipment.
Our equipment.
Yeah. Like our fire trucks, our trucks.
So I'll let Deputy Karosha answer that. But yeah.
We cover any damage to our own equipment through our motor vehicle fund. If it's accident damage, that gets passed through to risk management on a weekly report, and then we get reimbursed for any damage in excess of $1,000 for an accident to a vehicle or damage to a vehicle.
And my follow-up in that regard is the equipment that we currently have here, because it's been stated that we had additional snow that our equipment wasn't quite prepared for. That's why we had to get the outside contractors to come in.
Let me answer. So let me go. So on an ice storm, our plows plow snow. This was ice. You had 2 inches of ice on top of about 8 inches of snow, and then the temperatures went sub-zero for a week. Plows are ineffective with ice. Once that stuff freezes to the street and becomes hard as a rock, you need something with a fixed blade, a backhoe, a loader, a skid steer, to essentially break the stuff free, and it needs to be loaded in trucks. So even as Deputy Chief Staff Walker mentioned, once the temperatures start getting below 25 degrees, road salt loses a lot of its effectiveness. So I'll give you an example. At 31 degrees, 1 pound of road salt will melt 46 pounds of ice. At 25 degrees, it'll only melt 8.4. So it takes longer and it's not as effective. As Director Leary said, we were putting it out mainly for traction at that point. We try not to throw sand out there, because then the sand gets into our combined collection system, and I have to clean all the catch basins out in the spring. So we try not to do that. But when we get to an ice storm like this is the difference. If you take a look at both storms, the blizzard versus the ice storm, we had almost the same amount of snow with both storms. What was different was the tail end of the one storm had a lot of ice. The other one had temperatures that quickly went above freezing. We had the blizzard handled by 2 o'clock or so Monday afternoon. Every primary, tertiary, and neighborhood street was clear. We had plows down all of them. We couldn't plow ice. We had to bring in about 50 pieces of heavy equipment. This is loaders, backhoes, skid steers, and put them down some of the tightest streets. We had to pile that snow up, then load it in triaxle dump trucks and haul it over to several dump sites to get rid of it, because it wasn't melting. Because if you think about it, some of that snow was still here 3 weeks later when we had the last storm.
It's still here, yeah. And that's not just in Wilmington; it's all over the state.
Yeah.
That snow is
that
probably going to be here a few more weeks.
That particular type of equipment, because we don't have a use for it. We don't use triaxles every day. I don't need that many loaders. While we do have some of our own, it's just more efficient for us and cost effective. If we have an event, we bring in the equipment through a snow rental contract. The last time we used our snow equipment contract, I believe, was 2017. So it's been a minute since we've had to bring equipment in.
My question leading up to that was, would we need additional equipment going forward? That heavy duty equipment, so that we're not using the plows and everything. But you just answered that.
Well, just to follow up on that, part of the after storm conversations, looking at different equipment, anything that may be better. Several of the managers we're already looking at other equipment that we're going to try to come in to try different things. Different plows that'll actually, you can flip upside down so you can back drag down like dead end streets and different things like that, different kind of technology that's out there now. We are looking into that, but I mean, I'd love to have 10 front loaders, but they're operators, not CDL drivers, but I would love to have them, but it's just not feasible for us.
These are extremely expensive pieces of equipment. We start talking about buying loaders, a couple $100,000 piece of equipment, and if you're not using it every day, it's just depreciating there, costing us money. So That's kind of why we've changed our lineup of equipment away from a lot of heavy dumps, more towards like the F-450 style crew cab dumps, because we don't need a CDL driver to drive them, and we can get them down tighter streets with the plow.
Follow.
And then my next question is in regards to the extraction of the snow. That was not done by us. That was done by the contractor, correct?
By both. So we had our own crews, our loaders were out on the street, and backhoes and some of the large dumps that we have were working in specific areas as they were being dispatched. We also had the contractor working in the various areas, and every contractor group, so we had maybe 47, 48 pieces of equipment on the road each 12-hour shift. Somebody from Public Works was with them, so either from Operations Division or from our Engineering Division. We had an inspector or someone out there with them that was given a series of maps and what areas they were supposed to go to, where they were supposed to clean up, and then where to go next. And they were to take pictures before and after just to document everything that was being done.
Thank you for that. Follow up. I do know that there was piles created by some of the contractors. My follow-up question is just for the areas that was, I know not everything's perfect, so, but it was said that it would be 24 to 48 hours that those piles would come back and get picked up. When those piles didn't get picked up, whose responsibility was that? Were we still paying the contractors to do that if they're the ones who?
We tried to work as efficiently as we could, and we're trying to move around to different areas throughout the city. I did call them a couple and said, look, you've got a few piles up in your district. I went actually out driving around and tagged where the locations of some of them are. If they were piles that weren't an immediate hazard to traffic, in other words, it was on a wide enough street where cars could still get by and it wasn't causing a problem, I said, don't worry about that one, but get the ones that are on tight streets that are causing a visual hazard to traffic, get rid of them. So again, if there was a problem after the fact, our street cleaning guys went out with our loader and trucks and went out and got them. So we tried to keep the contractor working as efficiently as possible, but we're also being cognizant of the fact that this was a very expensive operation to run.
Thank you.
Okay. We have some public comments. We're going to try to wind this up. We have Miss Alice on the line. Alice on the line for public comments. Going once, going twice. Is she online?
She said, ask her to raise her hand. Ask her to raise her hand.
Miss Alice, can you raise your hand? She's not there? Okay, we'll come back. We have Kevin Malone on the line. Could you raise your hand, Kevin, if you're on the line? Going once. Kevin, raise your hand. Going twice. Okay. Do we have Mr. Bob Nurse on the line? Bob, raise your hand if you're on the line. Going once. Going twice. Going. Okay, next we have Mr. Muhammad on the line. Raise your hand if you're on the line. Okay, going once, going twice. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to make a comment? Please come up. Going once, going twice. Do we have any other council members that would like to make a statement or say anything? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'd like to close this out. This is a suggestion. In the future, cannot predict the snow, but hopefully we will get to some of the side streets a little faster opposed to later, so a lot of cars aren't blocked in, and just the mountain snow. But other than that, I think Public Works really, really did do a good job with what we were working with. But my last suggestion is hopefully the overtime will be equaled out because, you know, the numbers speak for itself, but not saying people didn't do their good job, but everyone should be treated equally in the future, and hopefully, you know, that's what it is. But with that being said, we are done with the presentation. And then next, we're going to bring up We're going to bring up Tiffany and Marty Rogers, the Water AMI, City of Wilmington presentation. Thanks a lot, everybody. From Itron. Nobody wants to stay? Okay, we want to put up the presentation from Itron, please.
You're gonna do that, or you want to do the AMI first?
The AMI.
You want to do, I'm sorry, this is Tiffany and Marty here. This is fairly quick. Do you want to just handle that one? This is for the amendment to the agreement for American Water. That's agenda item 26014.
Right, I read the wrong, thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yep, that's what we're doing now.
Got the wrong people up
Called
front
them,
for the
yep,
AMI.
there's a whole lot going on.
All right, well, let me, I can set the stage for it if you'd like. So about 10 years ago, we entered into an agreement with American Water Resources to provide water service and sewer lateral warranty service to our water customers. Program's been very successful. We have very high saturation rate within our customers. The folks essentially pay a monthly fee for one service or both. Most folks that sign up seem to sign up for the combination for both the water and sewer service warranties. If they have a problem with their water service or a sewer lateral clogged or a water service cracking, leaking, they make a call, and AWR dispatches a local resource out here to handle their complaint.
Thank you, Vince.
Okay.
First, I'd like to say that was Ms. Kendra who was on the line, who is using your services when we did the Zoom call. Could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what this is all about?
Yeah. Good evening, Madam Chair and council members. My name is Tiffany Nally. I work at our partnerships group at Encourse Home Solutions.
And I'm Marty Thompson. I'm the I'm the head of partnerships here at American Water Resources and Encourse Home Solutions, and really excited to just share a little bit more about what our program is, how we operate in the city, and answer any questions if there are.
If you could, I'd just like to mention this is some work from National League of Cities under the leadership of President Hanifa Shabazz. And a lot of people talk about various conferences, but you do find out a lot of good ideas that other people are doing at these conferences, and that's why we attend them. So I like to stress that to council members, new council members, and our audience, that this great organization, piece of legislation, is from attending National League of Cities. And we also have an employee who utilizes these services and said it really helped her out a lot. So with that being said, you can go ahead and start. Whoever wants to start first on.
Sure. So we're supporting Wilmington homeowners and infrastructure resilience by providing home protection plans designed to help Wilmington residents manage the financial risks associated with aging water, sewer, and plumbing infrastructure at an affordable price per month. These programs complement municipal systems by supporting homeowners when failures occur on private property. So who we serve in Wilmington, we have over 4,000 customers. We have serviced over 2,500 claims since partner inception. We have an 89% customer retention rate, showing the value and the loyalty of our programs. And we have a 91% customer satisfaction rate.
And what we're proposing here is really a 5-year renewal to the agreement that would keep pricing capped for residents.
1 second. Could you talk in the mic?
Oh, yes, sorry. What I was highlighting is that what's being proposed is a 5-year renewal amendment to the current agreement that would cap pricing for residents at $12.99. So this is, again, a water line, sewer line protection program that we've been operating in the market for a decade now and has had really great adoption, and people are able to call us with claims 24/7 and has operated with a high level of customer satisfaction and retention within the program. So excited to continue working with the city and answer any questions that you might have today.
I know, Kendra, did we have the flyer? We didn't, we don't have a copy, okay.
Would you like a copy of this, Madam Chair? I did put together some.
Sure. And if y'all can email us over a flyer so we can share with the council members so they can take it to their constituents. Like I said, Kendra utilizes your. This is just the water. That's just the water. You have the. I
think we have a link on our Wilmington Water website.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Madam
Excuse
Chair,
me.
there's also a link off of our Wilmington Water website to this, for these services.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
So this is on the water website. Thank you. Kendra, if you don't mind, can you tell us the service you use with American Water Resources?
It's related to the home repair, home shield.
Oh.
Could you speak
Okay.
inside the mic, please? I'm sorry.
It's
They
related
have
to
more
the
than
home repair. It's not the water sewer.
you use the
program.
other, but they do have. Okay, so she uses the home repair, and this was the water. Okay. Okay, so this is something that we can share with our constituents, and when you get back home, if you can forward us over the home, so we can share with our residents, because I think this is really a good infrastructure program that a lot of people here may not be able to afford, and y'all is very inexpensive. And how much is it a year for this?
So for the water and sewer line combo, it's $8.49 a month. And we actually just increased our customer limits to a combined 30,000. In the past year, we've also offered $1,500 in hotel accommodations and $500 for pet boarding in emergency situations.
That's real reasonable. I'm gonna sign up. Any questions from council members? Sure, Councilman Willard.
So if I buy the service and I have a problem with my sewer line or, my water line, I just contact the company and the company will pay to fix it up to $30,000. Is that right?
Yes, we do it all. If there is excavation, we do the permits. We find contractors that are licensed and insured and able to do work in the city as well. So it's a one-stop shop and we do it all.
And it's $8 a month, $8.99?
$8.49. Yep.
And this right here, it says.
Follow up?
I'm sorry, can I ask a follow-up? This right here says that it can go up to $12.99 a month?
That is where customers would be capped. So no customers in Wilmington would ever pay over $12.99 during the duration of our agreement.
So does that mean that it's going to go up from $8.99 to $12.99?
Historically, when we've increased price, it's been incremental, about 50 cents a year. So it's been really minimal price increases, and customers can cancel at any time.
That's all I have.
You have one more question?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions from council members online? And as Vince stated, it is on our website. Vince, could you repeat that, please?
So the Wilmington Water. The Wilmington Water, there's a link off the city website to it, as well as if you just Google search Wilmington Water, it'll take you right to our site.
Okay, it's Wilmington Water on the City of Wilmington website. If you Google it, it'll take you right to their website. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to ask any questions? Council members, from being on Zoom with both of you, I found it very intriguing, the services that y'all offer, and it's really good to see y'all in person.
Great to be here.
You too,
I
Councilman.
was all happy. I said, Vince, I talked to them online. So thanks again. Do you have any last remarks?
No, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And
All right, thank you. Where y'all traveling from tonight?
I'm joining from Chicago.
St. Louis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Wilmington's in the house. Thanks again. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Any last thing, Vince? You okay?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Okay. Michelle, yeah.
Can y'all leave your business
You
cards?
have any business cards?
Yes,
you can leave?
absolutely.
Thank you. Kendra, if you can give them to Kendra, that'd be fine. Okay, next we have, I done skipped all around. How about number 7, ordinance 26003? Who is here to
That's the Itron agreement. All right, let me bring a
That-
couple of folks up. That'll be me.
Please
Yeah,
bring
let me
them up. Vince, well, I would like to make an announcement. We missed 2 public works meetings because of the snow, so that's why this agenda is pretty full.
You could just say you like hanging out with me and Christian.
I do. This is a pretty good meeting.
It was.
Forrest them to answer the question.
Which one we on? Which one?
Oh, 2603.
2603.
I'm gonna be here all night with me. 2603. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Right.
Vince, we're gonna.
You all ready? Okay, so what we've got here, next on this agenda item 2603 is an ordinance to authorize and approve the First Amendment to the Professional Services Agreement with Itron for mobile automated meter reading. This will allow us to transition to automated metering infrastructure, which was discussed at length during the one of the previous ordinances. I've got with me Rusty Agee from Itron and Ron Campbell from Itron. We did send you over a presentation. I think we can maybe dispense with some of that. I think some of it's been posted. We'll just kind of hit the highlights if anybody's got any questions on it. And
Went through this before, right?
Yeah.
We're just going over because it's connected to the other piece. Okay, please, can they introduce themselves? Just for the record.
Good evening, Madam Chair and council members. Name is Rusty Agee. I'm the area sales guy. Been working with Vince and with Kelly and the folks from City of Wilmington for the past several years.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Ronald Campbell. I'm a program manager for Itron. I kind of live local from the Baltimore area. I run a project down there along with this project. I've been in this territory for about 9 years now, doing installations, large meter testing, large meter installations, and I'll probably be the one running this project as we move forward.
Welcome to Wilmington.
Thank you.
and Ron's been with us for a minute, so all the meter reading and meter change-out programs, he oversees those projects for us. Okay, so again, this is the back-end piece. So the part I spoke about earlier with Delmarva Power gets the data over. The Itron piece is they're constructing the head end to capture the data coming over, the city's metering read data coming over from through the Itron mesh network, moving that through the Itron head end stack into the Temetra program that we use to capture our read data, and then that interfaces with the city's CIS, their customer information billing system in Questa. So.
How much would this save taxpayers for
Well,
installing?
again, if we stick with AMI, which is an automated meter reading, which is what we have been doing since 2003, we're at 75 cents a read now. We're going to be up to 85 for 27, $1 for fiscal 28. Not sure where the cost is going to go from there, but I would expect it's going to continue to go up. So when we did the analysis, and I sent that over to council members earlier, we were looking at about half the cost per year for AMI versus the AMR. With AMI, we get a lot of additional benefits, as I kind of indicated in the previous conversation, additional granular data, 15-minute interval data. We don't have to roll a truck out to read the meters anymore. Everything, the data is coming right to our billing system 3 times a day.
And I know this is actual reading, but my question, I think you answered it last week. Will people lose their jobs with this automated system?
Right now, we haven't rolled meter readers on the street since 2003, when council passed an ordinance to require all meters to be able to be read remotely. So right now, the resource that does that is an Itron employee. Ron oversees that contract, and they do the drive-by meter reading for us.
And he's going to stay with us for the project, so.
Just want to make sure that for the public, because that was one of the questions.
We got away from
Yeah.
door-to-door meter reading many years ago, just because in the day and age you can't get in people's house to get a read. So there's actually legislation on the books that I have sent out to everybody. We are required, all meters installed are required to have remote reading capability, and that's what we do.
And I know I asked you this, and I wrote down here, no increase monthly. What was that? Why did I write that down there? What was that? No monthly increase, 15 years, was that no increase monthly?
I think,
Mobile meter reads, perhaps? Is that what you're referring to?
yeah, oh, okay, yeah, for 15 years, we had the rates were around 47 cents a read. So I think Itron management might have overlooked that for a while because I kept doing 5-year contracts and re-upping it. And at some point, somebody caught it and say, why is he paying half of what everybody else is paying?
And this is another 5-year contract.
This would be an amendment to the contract, the existing contract, and would extend it for 5 years.
Any questions from council members? Councilman Willow, please.
So when we installed the last system, it was in 2003.
2003 to 2006, we installed the meters. So we went from meters with no type of remote reading capability to meters with an Itron ERT, or endpoint, reading endpoint device where we could read them remotely via drive-by. Some of those meters have now been replaced, and the actual meters we're using now, those were Ulster Amco meters back in the day. They ended up being fraught with problems. That's what low bid got us. Now we've been purchasing for about the last 11 years Badger meters made in the USA, solid meter. And they have the same Itron endpoint device on them, and they're read currently by drive-by.
And what was that cost?
That's what we spoke about earlier. That was my meter reading cost now is about $450,000 a year.
No, I mean
to install.
The installation.
That was about a $5 million project when we in the capital program. That was years ago. That was when we did that. That was just for meters. For meters and endpoints, and to install them.
Oh, yeah. And I have a bunch of follow-up questions. Is that okay? So Itron is the current, meter reader, right?
Correct.
And the meter reading's going up, but they're doing basically the same thing, right?
That's correct.
But why would it go up? They're just charging more?
They're charging more, yeah. I mean, we were at a fixed price for 15 years. Who does that?
That's what it was, the fixed, I didn't put.
We were at one price for 15 years. I did one contract, and we did another 5-year agreement and extended that, and we locked in the same rate. Maybe somebody wasn't looking at it. Maybe my sales guy was great at the time. Sorry, Rusty. He was the guy before you, Alan. And yeah, we were at that rate. And when this 5-year contract came to an end, they're like, we can't maintain that rate anymore.
So. Itron is
let me jump. AMI is something this is not something like, hey, let's just do this. This is something we've been looking at for 5 years now. I mean, once we got an installed base, we got all the meters changed out to new Badger meters with a 20, that are good for 20 years. Got all the accounts squared away. The next logical move, at least in my mind, was moving to AMI, because the drive-by and the meter reading piece is the shakiest part of it. If you have bad weather and somebody can't get out there, they can't get down the right street, you're not going to get 100% reads. Our goal is to get customers an actual accurate read every time, not to be estimating their bills. If you don't get actual reads, you're estimating bills.
But you have a contract right now, right?
That's correct.
I gotta say follow-up.
Follow-up?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
You have a contract right now with Itron where they're guarantee you 99%
Correct.
reads. So you're getting the reads.
We're getting the reads
these
but
days.
The cost of that is going to continue to escalate.
So, but just because they want to increase the price.
It's not so much that we want to increase the price, it's just the cost of labor, cost of vehicles, maintenance, all that adds up. And the price increase is incremental over time. As Vince had mentioned, the price had been locked for 15 years prior, but there's added value beyond just read to bill concept. Right now, the technology that we're talking about, which is AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure, that affords the city to provide and educate the constituents, your constituents, their customers, the ability to set budgetary limits, to set thresholds as to if there's a leak in the house, the system will activate and send a signal to them so that they're aware of their budgets and they don't go over budget. Today's technology, mobile AMR, only affords you a latency of about 30 days. So when the read's read and it's posted, only then is it actionable. Today, or migrating to AMI will afford you to see that data on a daily basis so that the potential for a bigger bill is mitigated, having access to it on hourly reads.
So, the one thing that I see as being a benefit is the leak situation, right? That's like the one benefit. Other than that, it's just you're reading meters. You're reading meters on remotely, or you're reading meters on AMI. It's the same. Like you're just getting water usage.
So may I bring your attention to a couple of slides that are within this package, not to go through it, but there are some success stories toward the end of the package. There are 3 such scenarios that were done where the section's called customer success and closing comments. If you were to go to that portion, that's where other municipalities leveraged the current or the incumbent electric utilities in that area. One was a smaller utility, which is about 22,000, and that's Fort Wayne, Indiana. Then the other one is another municipality in San Antonio with CPS. San Antonio has 400,000. And then the third is the largest utility, which is a gas utility leveraging ComEd. And ComEd happens to be part of the Exelon family, which is what Delmarva is, which is what PHI is. So this is a solution that's been tested on a scale from small utilities to million-point utilities.
I mean, no,
Just
but
one more on this
I
one.
got to talk.
All right, so then I guess I'm just thinking about some of the risks, like Delmarva. You know, we're in the middle of this big problem with Delmarva where they're just raising the rates. You know, nobody has any control over it. Nobody can afford their electric bill. Nobody can afford, I mean, it's crazy. It's busting everybody's budget. So Delmarva is like another one.
Willauer, I'm sorry, point of order. Let's stick with the ordinance. I'm not
Well,
that type.
I'm just.
Yeah,
trying
but
to
I mean,
talk
that's
about-
another question.
But I guess my point is,
Excuse me, Councilman Willauer, I stick with my ordinances. So the ordinance that's on the agenda is 2604. Ordinance, whatever the questions relating to this ordinance, go ahead. I just don't want to get into no big thing about Delmarva because that's not my ordinance.
okay, so the proposal is to use Delmarva's network to collect water usage rates. So Delmarva's an issue because Delmarva has a history of raising rates. We would be marrying ourselves, like we would have to use their system, like we would
That's the
marry.
previous ordinance, Councilmember. If you take a look at it, it's the rates are set in there with a 3% cost escalator for 15 years. It's in the previous ordinance that we already reviewed, ordinance 25064. The rates are part of the document that you were given.
Okay, so, you know, they can raise the price, like we're investing all this money to marry ourselves to Delmarva, which, you know, some of the things that I worry about are they could raise the price, the metering might not work as planned, and, you know, sometimes systems don't work as promised. It didn't work like originally with our current system. Like, you know, you thought it was going to work really well, and then it didn't work that well, and then you had to hire Itron to like get the reader reads. So sometimes it doesn't work that well.
The technology we're talking about here, which is a product called Gen X within the Itron family, the folks at Delmarva, the parent company being Exelon, they're a current Itron customer with the current platform. We've already vetted out the compatibility and their motivation on the Delmarva side. Or PHI side. They're highly motivated to make this successful. They're also looking to work with other municipalities in the Mid-Atlantic area. And the read rates that we've seen throughout the system, such examples such as the one you saw on ComEd, and there was an example that was provided and may have been shared with the council, Gainesville Regional Utilities in Florida. They currently have a similar system where they have water underneath electric. They're reading 99.7 in a 6-hour time frame and 99.99 in a 24-hour time frame reliably for over 2 years. So I would say this has been a proven solution that's very, very reliable.
Okay. Do we have any council members online? Did anyone come back on for public comment? Do we have anyone from the public that would like to make a comment or speak? Councilmember Owens, no? I would like to make a comment towards this contract. I think this is a good contract. I met with Vince for quite a lengthy time to explain this. I appreciate the emails back and forth to answer most of my questions. Some of I didn't understand, but I came back and we still talked about it a little more with Jim Baker and kind of cleared up some things for me. I really appreciate, that's why I told you I left my notebook home. That's what it was. This was a fixed price for 15 years. And as I told you, I had to come to grips with just new technology. And, I'm always worrying about people getting laid off and, different updated equipment, but it's called updated equipment and change the times. And I always talk about it because I had a cousin who used to walk around and read the meters. I mean, he retired 10 years ago, but I'm still in my head like, well, that was his job. What is all this new stuff? But it hasn't been in effect, like you said, in 10 years, right? So I'm looking forward to the city saving millions of dollars on this. Like you said, 2003, 5-year contract, and we have our eyes on you. We want to make sure everything is going along, smoothly. And if anyone has any questions, you can always email Vince or, stop by his office. Like I said, I spoke with him for an hour, then I called him, then we emailed, then we did FaceTime. So sometimes you don't understand some things, I'm really talking about myself. It took me a lot to really put my head around some of these contracts because it's difficult. I mean, and some of it don't make no sense, but till you really start listening to the teachers, and I'm still a student, so it is what it is. So, do we have, would y'all like to say some closing remarks?
The only thing I would also like to add is the fact that you made a reference to the National League of Cities with the previous presentation. Coincidentally, the national version of that show called American Water Works Association, ACE, is in D.C. this year in June. So it's not a very long drive. And for the council and other folks here in attendance, I would encourage you to attend that show and learn more about what we're doing here at Wilmington and elsewhere. Itron will be there.
Could you please give Kendra your business cards, and if you could email Vince the information, so maybe I'll switch up and come to D.C. Maybe we'll go to that conference and just see what's going on, so we can say Delaware's there, and we can hear a little bit more from your organization, so we can come back and share that information, that network information. I appreciate y'all coming. With that be saying, there's no comments from the public, no more comments from council members. Thanks again, if you could leave. Thanks again, Vince. It's been a long night. If you could leave Kendra your business cards, and if we have any cards, we can give them, we'll email y'all some questions. Did you have one last question? No, go ahead. No, wait a minute, we do have another question from from council member. Feel free, go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
You sure?
Is there going to be are they making a presentation too, or no?
No, this was it,
This was
no, that was it.
Okay, that's it.
No questions?
Thank you.
Sure, thank you so much.
I guess I do have one question.
Sure, go ahead. I'll take
Is
her
there
on
any
what you sound good.
consideration of a pilot instead of doing the whole shebang, 3 million?
So this will roll out in phases. So we're ordering the first batch of 500 W-ERTs now, so that'll essentially be the pilot. It was envisioned this would come online over a period of 2 or more years. So we'll roll out a small number of ERTs first. Those ERTs will then be read by through the AMI network. We'll still be doing AMR at the same time because we've got to keep reading meters.
And if it gives you peace of mind, if everything goes south, the worst-case scenario is the same modules that we are proposing for the AMI solution can go back to mobile mode, and you keep going mobile reads in the future. So it does both technologies.
We can go backwards if we needed to.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. Without having to install anything else.
Yeah, but I think we
You could walk away from Delmarva.
Yep.
Delmarva.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Thank y'all.
You have a good one.
All right.
Don't forget to give Kendra your business cards, please.
I'll give her 2.
Okay, so
Motion to adjourn.
now you can go on your date.
Motion to adjourn.
Yep. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. I'm busy running my chair, but we haven't.
We're
left
not done yet.
Yeah, thank you. That's why we got a good chair here, Councilman. Okay, do we have, a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second.
Those in favor say
All those in favor say aye.
aye. Well, WIT had already cut us off. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a good night.